That's a good fish right there. There we go, girl. Woo, man.
This episode of Let's Take It Outside is brought to you by the Alligator Attraction located in historic Johns Pass in Madeira Beach, Florida. Have up close and personal experiences with sloths, snakes, and gators. Have you kissed a gator today?
This week on Let's Take It Outside, we are deep in the glades in South Florida and on the prowl for the invasive Burmese python. I'm joining my buddies, the Swamp Ape, and we are going hunting. Look, out here, I don't know what we're gonna run into, which is why I've got my snake-proof boots on. Rattlesnakes, moccasins, and big old gators might be the least of our worries. I want you to buckle up and get ready for a wild ride as we're hopping on our airboats and we're heading out. I just joined my new best friend Tom, and I have no clue what we're doing today, so what are we doing today?
Misty, we're going out into South Florida Everglades to look for the invasive Burmese python.
And how are we going to do that? What's the plan?
Well, we're going to get dropped off by the airboat, go to an inaccessible area. The airboats were born in the Everglades. Ozzy is the nature man of the Everglades with his airboats. He's taken us to a spot that you can only reach by airboat. We're going to get in there and we're going to be busting along the sides of these tree islands and these levees looking for females and males to come to find those females for this season's breeding dance.
Okay, and you know, what you told me is this is right now peak season and peak time because it's a little bit cooler, the water levels are high. What else is going out there that's going to help us do the capture on the pythons today?
Well, this is the breeding season, so a female with a nest will release pheromones, this come hither perfume that wafts across the glades. Those males will come from miles and miles away tracking that scent, right? And then once they find that female, then they get into this breeding aggregation. So for one female that we hope we find today, you may get 3, 4, 5 males that have come to go date with the woman.
And how many babies on average do they have?
Pythons are incredible breeders. They're very protective. A 16-foot python could have 60, 70 eggs.
Wow.
Of those 60, 70 eggs, 95% of those eggs will hatch up. Every year, every other year.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's bad. There's tens of thousands of these snakes out there, so every year there's this population growth and then crash. So small hatchlings get picked up by hawks, by gators, by owls, you know, whatever, raccoons, possum will get them. But once they get to a certain size that we're looking for, we're about the only predator that can pull them out of the glades and knock their numbers down.
You know, and a lot of people ask me, like, you know, what's the big deal? Why is it a big deal that pythons are in the glades? And actually in South Florida, but now expanding into more areas of Florida. Tell everybody why that's such a bad thing.
Well, the Everglades is a diverse biological environment, right? And where the pythons have established themselves, 90%, upwards of 90% of the mammals that are native to South Florida are gone. Where the pythons, they're eating machines, these pythons.
That's their food source, and they have no predators except for us today.
Swamp apes.
Yeah, the swamp apes.
And Misty.
And Misty Wells. This will be my first python hunt, and I wasn't going to go unless I was going with Tom, and we finally made it happen.
That's
we got quick hands today.
We have a policy of live capture, so effectively it's a python rodeo. It's like a greased pig. You know, once you make contact, you want to get behind the head as soon as possible.
I'm ready to go hunt.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Man. Woo!
All right.
We're about 30 miles in. We just got dropped off by the airboat, and I'm getting ready to follow the hunters in, and it's game on.
This episode of Let's Take It Outside is brought to you by Minn Kota Trolling Motors, built to outlast, outmuscle, and outperform the most trusted trolling motor on the water. Humminbird Electronics with Mega Down and Side Imaging. Fish have nowhere to hide. Simply, clearly better. T.A. Mahoney's, your marine supply store, Tampa. If we ain't got it, quit looking. Freedom Boat Club of Tampa Bay. Enjoy the freedom of boat ownership with none of the headaches.
What lies beneath can no longer hide. New Mega Imaging Plus uses high-frequency sonar to show you fish and structure up to 200 feet below your boat and 200 feet out to either side. No more secrets, no more guesswork. Just a clearer picture of the world below, down to a fish's species and direction. Because more detail means more of this. Whoa. Only from Humminbird.
I want you to buckle up and get ready for a wild ride as we're hopping on our airboats and we're heading out. I'm ready to go hunt.
I'm ready.
Let's do it,
this.
man.
All right. What the Swamp Apes are about are first and foremost the veterans. You know, they come back from their service in this intense situation, and then they're back in civilian life. All that skill set that they had, that they got to utilize over there, a sense of purpose, a sense of mission, that tends to get lost. We are just humbled to be able to help these veterans, and who better than the veterans to enjoy a good life than them? And we have a chance to do something to help them get back on track and readapt while we're removing these pythons. It's a win-win, hands down. It's awesome.
We just got dropped off by the airboat, and the ride-in was so phenomenal. We saw lots of alligators, birds, all kinds of critters. We're about 30 miles from civilization, and I am following my crew. We're gonna go do some hunting. If you're thinking about going python hunting, the best way that I can describe it is hours of boredom and walking, punctuated by moments of terror.
There's some cattails, right? And then you see some sawgrass. The cattails are going to indicate that there's a high phosphorus level in the water, like farm runoff and that sort of thing. It's throwing off the natural sawgrass flow. You can kind of know that because that line of trees right there is an old farm canal. This was an area that they were going to develop, right?
Oh, wow.
Progress back in the day was draining the glades and then have farm, agriculture, and all that until they realized the negative impacts that all that draining did.
Right, right.
So now progress is returning it to its natural state. Pythons, by nature, like geologic anomalies, like this old levee road that we're on, and like this old farm canal road, this old ditch right here. So as we're going forward, this is a really good target-rich area. It's likely that we're going to see a python, if they're out at all today, in an area that we're coming up on. That's likely where they are.
Now, pythons are not poisonous, but they do have rows of needle-like teeth that curve back towards their gullets. Once a python clamps down on, say, your hand or your arm, it'll then begin to coil around and constrict.
Well, no pythons yet, but evidence that we're not the only people out here hunting snakes or the only things hunting snakes. This is an otter kill. We've got river otters living in the glades, and they are amazing at avoiding pythons. Very few animals can, but otters can.
They're fast.
Very fast, agile, and smart, and they kind of got the pythons figured out. I mean, they've been avoiding alligators
Right, for a long time.
for millennia.
Yeah.
But this is a brown water snake, a good snake, not an invasive non-native. But the otters will eat them, and it's an otter kill because you can tell because the head is missing.
Right.
And the otters are used to eating, water moccasins and what we call hot snakes. So they'll bite the head off first.
Right, to
make
avoid
it safe.
any problems.
Bring it up here and chew on it. So this one is maybe a couple days old. The good thing about otters here in the Everglades, they will get to, the body will be this
Right.
long. 40-pound otter. So they actually will eat python hatchlings of this size.
Great.
The pythons come out of the egg 3.5 feet long and reach 10 feet in just a couple years, but the otters will feed on them.
Well, good. So the otters are great to have here in the Glades, and this is proof we're not alone out here.
As we're going, if you spot one, you keep your eyes on it, and we'll do that way we can move around and get after it, because once somebody takes their eyes off of that camera,
You're going to lose it. They're
like
so
a
hard
fish
to
off the
see as it is. So if you get eyes on one, okay, I'll stay locked, and I'll let you guys go in
Thank you.
for the capture.
keep jumping on it.
Right? Okay, you're jumping on it, right? Okay.
Tall drink of water.
We'll jump.
That's right.
We'll jump.
Okay.
You point.
I'll point, y'all jump. Okay, that sounds like a plan to me.
You all ready?
Yeah, so to the Python hotspot.
Let's go fishing.
Let's do it.
Pythoning.
Pythoning. Like they say, there's more than one way to skin a snake. You want to find out what happens next? Then don't touch that remote. The plantation on Crystal River is the place for Florida family adventures. Make memories while swimming with manatees. Scalloping is fun for all ages. Rent a pontoon boat or paddleboard and spend time on the water. Parents can relax in the spa or play a few rounds of golf. The plantation offers Southern hospitality with Florida charm. Reserve your family time on the river today.
Our children come from different backgrounds with different stories. They learn time-honored values like the importance of faith, hard work, and that an education is something no one can take away. They learn that respect begins with themselves and should be given to others. The Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches, where kids learn, laugh, and dream with people who refuse to give up on them. With your donation today, we can give them a brighter tomorrow.
Everybody, you guys are joining me today deep in the Everglades, where we are hopping on an airboat and going on a hunt for the invasive species of the python.
So here's that target area that we talked about. This is a vegetation run right here. They did an old farm canal, part of the old progress. Now it's returning it to nature, and it's been wild for a period of time. Unfortunately, those pythons have found it, and it's likely there's a female up on there. That's what we're hoping for, is a territorial female that draws in all the males from all this vastness. They follow that come hither perfume the female pythons put out, and then they find her. And what we'll see, what we hopefully will see, is a bunch of matted vegetation. they have what's called a breeding aggregation, a breeding ball. So for that one female, you could have 3, 4, 5, 6 males that come out here to get with that female. If we're lucky enough, we actually find one of those breeding aggregations. You know that like buy one, get one free? This is like you find that female, you buy one, you get 4 free, female and the males. There's food around here. You have birds, you have mammals. It's somewhat of a tree island. It's elevated. That's where they're going to be. They're going to be up on the high ground around where the water meets. That's where their food is. Where there's prey, there's always going to be predators. We're going to catch up to Misty and Kurt, and hopefully we hear them start to holler and they found that big breeding ball.
After walking miles through the Everglades, dodging gators and other snake species, we head back to the airboat empty-handed. But don't worry, the hunt's not over yet.
So you don't always get what you hope for, right?
Right.
But you know they're in there. And when I was up on that north end, there was a pad of ground out there. And this is a good indicator that they are definitely in there.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Yeah, this is absolutely a python shed. You can see here, that's a fairly long tail.
Right.
And if you hold that up to the light, you can actually see some blotching and some patterning.
Okay.
And then you can see the size of these belly scales here. So you know that python, in
Pretty
fact,
big.
It's a decent sized one. I would think at this size, could be a female, but the males tend to come out this time of year looking for the females, and literally they change clothes.
Well, they want to shed and put on their Sunday best.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
they're looking, they're looking to mate, so they need to put their best foot forward.
And they are beautiful.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
On average, it takes a full 24 hours just to locate a python. Tom and Kurt log thousands of hours on the hunt. As you can see, sometimes it really pays off. It's not over till the snake's in the bag. It's time to change up the game plan and head deep into the woods. We're going to try another method of hunting, driving the levees at night and spotlighting for them. If we see a python, the plan is simple. Jump out of the truck, grab the snake, wrestle it into submission, and stuff it in a bag. Sounds easy, right?
This thing here is only maybe, that could have been born this year. But after a year, it's going to be 5, 6 feet, 2 years, 7, 8, 3 years, 9, 10.
Right.
That's rabbits, that's rats, that's all these native animals. It's a scary thing.
Right. So,
You
even
look
though
good with that.
right?
That's a good thing. One of the
Snake
things
makes me look fat.
we honor these animals too. These hides are beautiful, and
Yeah, they
it's
are.
a shame they gotta go, but they gotta go. They
Right.
don't belong. They settle down pretty well. You can let them go.
They are so
gonna turn.
nice. And they really are beautiful.
He kind of thinks he's getting away now. You rub their belly scales like that, right? And he thinks he's Usain Bolt to the python world. He's getting away, but the problem is that they will turn and real quick and bite.
I hope you've enjoyed this segment of Hunting in the Everglades for the invasive python. We're going to switch gears a little bit to something a little less dangerous, peacock bass fishing. This is the glamorous part of urban bass fishing. The urban canals of South Florida are loaded with invasive species from iguanas, tegu, peacock bass, and even invasive plants. When it comes to conservation, Sonny and I are doing our part, one fish at a time.
I'm Dennis Brownlee with Florida Insurance Center, located right here in our home state of Florida. We take great pride in our work, just like you, which is why we are dedicated to providing quality insurance products with outstanding customer service. For over 42 years, we have been treating businesses as people, not policies. That's why we specialize each insurance plan to fit the needs of every business.
From home, auto, and boats, we got you covered. Protecting your business is our business.
We're here for you. And remember, Florida Insurance Center is the trusted choice.
For 28 years, the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation has been funding clinical trials across the nation to end childhood cancer. Cancer is the #1 cause of death by disease among children. Only 4% of the billions of dollars spent annually are directed towards treating childhood cancer. Visit fishingfundsthecure.org to learn how you can help save the lives of children battling cancer. You can make a difference.
This episode of Let's Take It Outside is brought to you by The Plantation on Crystal River, Florida, where friends and families come to stay and play. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, everything you need to take it outside under one roof. Cayman Islands Angling Club and the Cayman Islands International Fishing Tournament, celebrating 23 years of catching. Every fishing tournament before this is just practice. April 30th through May 3rd. Go to fishcayman.com for more details.
Down to the Keys, we pulled over here at a place I like to try and fish for peacock bass, which is another invasive species that we're looking for in this segment. We're in Cutler Bay, and we're using right now little cichlids for bait, keeping really light line because the water is so crystal clear. I know I can see them, and I know they can see us. This is Sonny's first time, right? Catching peacock bass or fishing for peacock bass. We haven't caught them yet. But if you'll look over here, you'll see there's some grass beds. And what I noticed when I was walking by is there was a big old Oscar that caught my eye. And then as we were putting our baits out, from under the grass came a peacock bass and a snakehead, which is another invasive species. So we're gonna try some live bait. We've got some lures as well. We're just gonna throw everything we got at them and see what happens. This is the glamorous part of urban bass fishing. Woo, look at that!
There you go, walk this way a little more, get closer to the bank, sweetie.
That's a good one, Sonny.
Oh, look what you just did, Sonny. Yeah. That is a nice peacock bass.
Really nice.
Oh my gosh. Look at the colors on that fish, Sonny.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a big fish.
Aren't they pretty?
They are.
Colors under their gills, that bright orangish red there. Beautiful fish. Yeah.
Okay, right now we found the mother lode. I've been watching these peacock bass. There's about 7 or 8 of them right here. We're being really quiet because we don't want to scare them off. We had to go get more live bait, but also we're being careful not to cast a shadow because any noise, any shadows, anything like that is going to scare them off. And I think Sonny and I have a chance for a double header right here. Got it, Sonny? What's going on?
Oh my God.
How's it feel?
He's biting.
You got a big one, girl. Another big one. Oh, shoot. Oh, I see him. I see him. Oh, I'm up. I'm up. Oh. Broke me off. Damn. I just got broke off. Took it all. Took all my hardware. Sonny just landed one. We were hooked up at the same time. Look at this dude. Look at Sonny's fish. Look at that. That's beautiful. We're gonna put him back. You wanna give him a kiss or anything, Sonny? We're gonna put him back and we're gonna keep on fishing. Man, we found the mother lode.
Go, Sonny, go, you got it.
Set it, Sonny, go. Now reel, but do it, push it forward. There you go.
She got one?
She got it by herself. Here.
Oh, look at this one, Sonny. Now look at the gold dot on his tail. Look at the coloration in that gold dot. Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful.
Now look at the colors on this one.
Wow.
See how he's really bright red and orange on the belly? Just absolute beautiful fish.
He's massive.
So this is my first peacock bass. It's an invasive species and excited to catch it. Woo!
So after watching this episode of Let's Take It Outside, where we're tromping through the Everglades looking for pythons, if that's not really your game, you can come here and meet Jasper at the alligator attraction right here in Johns Pass. Be sure to tune in next week as Sonny and I take the hunt down to the Florida Keys. We get up close and personal with Sherman the dolphin and share the importance of keeping our oceans trash and plastic free while taking on another invasive species, the lionfish. Quiet on the side. No one.
Better get right behind it, otherwise he'll turn and bite you. Did real good.
Put the mustard, man.
Ready? Give him a kiss.
Go into Miami. Okay, hold on. Let me ask a question.
Reality show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right?
Where are you?
Right behind. Right up there.
Oh, shoot. And you're downwind. That's the day you don't want to fish the city. Don't. It's not worth it.